work, see if we can get some of these grants to work. If we can't, then we'll just pick up, obviously, I would, in all fairness, pick a point down not later than the middle of next year as a point to send it back to the state with our profound apologies for having held it as long as we have, but we've been trying to employ it. So.
It sounds like a motion then to reject the bids, but to continue to explore the REAP grant.
Yeah.
First, I think we need a motion to approve the plans and specs, because that has not been done
Okay.
before we make that motion.
Right.
I make a motion to approve the plans.
Does that tie us in any way, shape, or form to those plans and specs as they exist, or can they be altered?
You'd have to come back later to alter them.
But that can be as a doable scenario.
It's doable, but you
If in other words, if it was some way for us working with the REAP folks and simply said there's some way to adjust this design to make it less costly. We're not committing ourselves to that we're just committing it for this moment as far as the plans and specs. So we can always come back to it at a later time.
Yeah, you'd have to
John
come.
said with the new specs on it, they couldn't do that, John.
No, we can come back and change it.
But didn't the government tell us it wasn't good enough? We had to raise the standards on it, and that's what brought the cost up?
No, well, we're talking, that has part impact on it, but not the complete thing. In other words, we're talking about the plans as they exist today. If we change the design in some fashion, you still have to apply ADA standards to it. You can't get away from that. That's not going to change that part of it. But it may be not necessarily as a wild idea here. We don't take out as much of that huge block of foundation as we've talked about taking. We do something slightly different by just moving the trail over 10 feet. Or some weird scenario. Anyway, it doesn't really, the point is that we don't have to do anything with it. If we approve the plans and specs tonight, all I wanted to know is if we can change the plans and specs at a later time. If we redesign and still fall within the parameters of the grant and of any federal or state law requirements. Are we bound by tonight's activity, or we can change it at some other point?
Wouldn't you not want to
What we're saying
approve?
is this set of plans is not affordable, and you want to change them, so why do we want to approve them?
Right.
Approve these plans, we might as well not approve them. We're not doing away with the grant.
Right.
We're just saying these
But-
plans and
But
these
these plans were put out for bid, so they have to be approved.
But if we're not.
They're already put out for bid, and we're gonna reject the bid, so the plans and specs, since they've already been put out for bid, have to be approved.
Why would you? But
Before
why?
we reject the bid.
I would think you would approve the plans and specs and then reject the bid, and then at a later date, it's gonna be rebid, you're gonna have to redo the plans and specs at that time.
So why would you approve these, though? If we're not going to even approve the bid, why would you want to approve these plans, the specs, and estimate of cost?
That's why I always thought the plans and specs should be approved 2 meetings prior to coming to this point, but I've always argued that.
It just doesn't make sense to me to approve plans and such of things that we
Well,
are
the 6
not
of one
in
have to,
agreement
that
with.
doesn't on the
Yeah.
other. We approve the plans
And then
2 weeks
also
ahead of
not
this, or we do it
approve-
tonight. We're still doing it in advance of the bid.
This is what the bid was predicated on, so I think you've already assumed, without making the motion, which you're asked to do tonight, that the plans and specs are what you are, in essence, voting on tonight, and then the bid that goes with it. So I would concur that I think the plans and specifications should be approved prior to maybe even putting the bid on, or putting the packet on the street for bids, but that's a different issue. At this point, in the process, I think you are obligated to approve the plans and specifications that are associated with this bid item.
Okay, I'll second.
You're right.
Okay, so the motion is from John?
No,
No.
from
Debbie, I'm sorry, lost track of you. Who said what? So the motion for the resolution approving plans, specs, forms of contract and estimate, or what do you, second it by Dellenbach?
Yep.
Okay. Now we'll do a roll call on that part.
Calder,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Yes.
Linius.
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Dollenbach.
Yes.
Okay. Next is motion to adopt a resolution approving said award of contract to Chick Fry Excavating Company totaling $369,566.35.
And I think, John, at this point, if you made that motion to reject the bid or bids, but to direct the city administration to continue exploring the REAP grant, that would be an appropriate motion.
This would be a time to do that.
Or funding options. Yeah, I think that would be the motion that you were talking about
Did you
making.
get that, Mark?
What he said?
Yes.
So, what he said.
You know shorthand.
So I'll make that motion then.
And do we have a second to that?
Second.
Second from Dallenbach. Roll call, please.
Brown,
Yes.
Holland,
Whoa. I think we're accepting the bid if we say yes.
No.
No, because
No.
we're not even
'cause I
doing
changed it.
this resolution.
The
That
mo-
last line, we're not even dealing with. We have a different motion on the
Oh,
floor.
I'm sorry, I
from
thought
John.
you just read, I thought you
No,
just
I
read
read
that.
that, but
What's the motion?
instead, his motion is
to reject the
to
bids
reject
To
this
reject,
bid.
okay.
and
Right.
direct the city administration to continue funding options.
Yes,
Okay,
so that's what you're voting on.
Right.
Is to
sorry about
reject
that,
this-
Don, I
To
thought,
reject this
every
bid-
once in a while we get a trick
To reject
question.
this bid and direct the administration
So
to
this thing's
continue
gonna
to.
live on, live on, and live on?
Well,
It's
possibly
gonna
for at least a
just
year
kinda
until
lay
that,
there.
as long as we can utilize the REAP grant and see whether we can use it in any other way.
That was my next question. If we kill this thing in the head, can we use that money for something else?
No.
Not
No.
unless they approve it.
Yeah.
The grant that we got was specifically for this. We can't change it unless we talk to them and they approve that.
But maybe we can negotiate something with them for something. We don't know until we
Government's
ask.
pretty tricky, aren't
Well,
You're
let's-
part of
let's
it.
finish
Okay.
voting on- Let's
Okay.
finish voting on this.
Because we have a motion and a second for
Can
that.
we have that restated for everybody's benefit?
Yes, what they're voting on.
Okay, the motion is to reject the bids and direct the city administration to continue exploring grant funding opportunities.
Okay.
Everybody agree, know what they're voting on?
I'll still vote yes.
Okay, so we're still doing roll call.
Holland,
Yes.
Linius,
Yes.
Vaughn,
Yes.
Hill,
Forgot which direction we were going.
Dallenbach,
Yes.
Grover.
Yes.
And I want to publicly thank all of the folks who did bid. Chick Fry came in close, but unfortunately not close enough, so.
Okay. Moving on. Number 3, to adopt an ordinance amending Chapter 46, Minors, Section 46.02, Cigarettes and Tobacco by repealing this section and replacing it with a new section to include vapor products and alternative nicotine products. Need a motion to receive and file proof of publication of notice of public hearing.
Second.
Dallenbach, motion, second by Holland. Roll call.
Holland,
What?
Enter hearing.
Speak up. I couldn't hear you. Ah,
Asking
yes.
for your vote.
Linius,
Yes.
Vaughn.
Yes.
Hill,
Yes.
Dallenbach.
Yes.
Grover.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
I would like to make a motion that since this one, and in fact the next couple are state codes that we need to pass